right, here. Doing a little bit live here. Let me see if I could bring. I'm gonna do a little quick interview, guys. Wanna see here. Wanna share this here. Wanna share this here. Now let's see if Hugo's available. Alright, let's bring Hugo. There's a little interview I wanna do. I promise you guys an interview, and I wanna bring this Mortista. He also practiced Umbanda. I want to bring him on an interview here. Hugo, just sent him an invite. Oh my God, what is he doing with all them Santa Muertes? Let's see if anybody is there. I'm going to bring Hugo. Hugo, if you're there, go ahead and message me so I could bring you on the camera. So we're going to talk today a little bit about Santa Muerte. We're going to talk a little bit about Umbanda. Today we're going to talk a little bit of necromancy with Hugo. I'm just waiting for Hugo to get the invite so we could. Hello, Rosa Calderon. I hope I'm sharing this to my main page and not to. But let's see. Where's Hugo at? So I was just having a little discussion about the similarities between the ancient Egyptian tradition and the Aztec traditions, the Aztec beliefs with the underworld, the Lord of the underworld. When you passed away in the Aztec tradition, the first thing you saw was this Lord or this goddess or God that looked like a dog. Who else? You know, who does that sound like? It sounds also like a Santísima Muerte online by the Truth Monger. So we have a little interview here today. Here you go. Here we go. Here now.
Here we are.
What's up, Hugo?
I'm good, and you?
So Hugo.
Yes.
So let's start this again because I wanted to. I'm not gonna show my face because I have my Santa Muertes here. But again, I'm gonna ask you the same question. Please introduce yourself. Let everybody know where you're from, and let everybody know what is it that you practice.
Okay. So my name is Hugo. I'm from Portugal, and I practice Umbanda from Brazil. I practice a little Sanse from Puerto Rico, and I practice Ifa from Nigeria.
So when you say Nigeria, it has nothing to do with the Creole tradition or the Cuban
No,
tradition.
no. It's traditional Ifa. It's called Ishekelaba.
And Umbanda. Okay. Now, I want to ask you this? How did you receive this like spiritual calling?
Well,
what was the first thing you started in?
I started with Umbanda,
How did you receive that calling? How do you know that was your path? How do you know this will become a passion? How did you tell us?
Well, I didn't study in Umbanda. I started with natural magic in nature, doing a lot of rituals with elementals. I started learning tarot. And out of the blue, I went to Spiritismo from Kardec. And Allan Kardec, yes. And one time I was having a coffee with a friend from another center of Kardec, and she told me that she had someone that wanted to talk to me on the phone. And I said, okay. And I hear it on the other side of the phone. Hello, Sarava, my brother. And I'm like, what? And he told me, you know you're not from Kardec, right? You're from Umbanda or Candomblé. So you need to change. And I was like, okay, nice talking to you. Goodbye, because I was afraid. At that time of my life, I was really afraid of everything that was Afro. Oh, sorry. And so, because I was afraid, I was always running from everything that was Afro, because I was,
from an African
yes,
tradition.
I was raised on a Catholic family. My mother was a member of the church, so it was very hard. Okay, it was very hard to enter anything and to know anything. I was raised almost on a bubble, you know. And one day, I had a consultation with a man with a very big altar, because that's how altars are in Umbanda, big. And he told me my life since the day I was born. And I was like, wow, I want to practice this, you know? How can this man know so much about me? And a grandfather from the father from my mother appeared in that session, and he told me, you need to work. So we are going to help you to work in this. That's how I entered.
So this guy got possessed, or he brought down the energy of your
Yes, yes. He was mounted. He was mounted by a spirit.
Okay.
By his guide.
But so you decided to go into this and not candomblé. What's the difference between, I don't know if you can.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
The difference between Umbanda and candomblé. I mean, I know, but I want the people that are watching here to understand the difference.
Okay, I will explain it. In Umbanda, we have orishas, has the higher position is from orishas, and then we have all the spiritual workers that work and are assigned to each orisha. Okay? For example, there's an Eshu for Ogun, there's an Eshu for Oshun, there's an Indian for Oshun, there's an Indian for Obalwaye, and so on. In Candomblé, it's not the same. In Candomblé, the orishas mount the mediums, and they don't have Indians or other spirits. They mostly have Eshu and Pombagira. That's the main difference. Okay, in Umbanda, Orisha doesn't mount.
Okay, so then you decided to go ahead and learn Umbanda. Yes. Or was it Spiritismo first?
Well, I was 7 years in Spiritismo, and then I've made my transition to Umbanda, because Umbanda includes everything. Every single spirit can work in Umbanda.
Okay, so I'm gonna take you quick just to get a little bit of that feeling. What is it also that you practice? So then, when we were talking, you told me that you wanted to learn Sensei, right? Okay, without giving me any names, what happened? Why? Tell me the story of what happened when you try to learn.
Well, I was already working in Umbanda for some time, maybe 4 to 5 years, more or less, and I discovered this wonderful thing, these wonderful videos on YouTube with some glasses and some images, and I was, wow, I never seen that, you know, glasses of water.
Mesa Blanca.
Yes, a Mesa Blanca, a boveda espiritual. And I was like, wow, I need to learn this, because I feel a connection with this, you know. The person that did the videos didn't want to teach me, because I was a European and not from Puerto Rico, among other things. And so that person always refused to teach me Sensei. I was looking for a long time. I was looking, and out of the blue, or not, an ahijado from that person came to me and started to teach me something.
Okay, so he didn't want to teach you because you were European. Yeah. Was there like, because you're Portuguese?
Yes, because my ancestors were conquerors. I have nothing to do with
but that happened hundreds of years ago. You have
nothing to do with that.
Today.
And I could have, if I was supportive, you know, if I was supportive of the Portuguese story, of the Portuguese discoveries, but I'm not. That's fucking bullshit. The Portuguese didn't discover nothing. Everything was already there.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. But you also mentioned to me that let's not mention the person's name, but I want people to see your experience and where the issue is, okay? Where a lot of us spiritual leaders think we know, but we are wrong.
Yeah.
So not only were you discriminated because you were Portuguese, well, he thought you were Spanish, right? But he thought at first that because you were son of Oshun,
that I was gay.
You were gay. Well, let me tell you guys out there that you're going to listen to this video, not because you're son of Oshun, that Orisha means that you're gay. A lot of people automatically say, he's son of Oshun, he is gay. No. So you were discriminated because you weren't gay to be in this practice. Yes. Well, in his little circle.
Yes. He made me, I talked to him 5 years ago, and he told me at that time that I could not learn because I was in Portugal. So he wouldn't tell me anything because he didn't believe in teaching by distance. He didn't believe in teaching me because I was Portuguese. So all my ancestors were conquerors. And he refused to teach me too because I was son of Oshun, but I was not gay.
Because you were son of Oshun, but you were not gay. Okay. Okay. So that is sad because this person doesn't know where to start. But anyways, we got past that. We gave that little story. Now you're learning about Santísima Muerte. What caused you to learn about Mitzicachigua, the traditional style? What caused you to learn about Santísima Muerte?
As I was told you on our first video, I was trying to buy some material from Spain, from a company from Spain. And while I was on the side of the company, I was seeing a lot of images of Santa Muerte, and I was scrolling down because I didn't work with Santa Muerte. I respect her a lot, but I didn't work at the time with her. And she told me in my ear, I want you to buy me a red image so I can work with you. And I was like, okay, but are you sure? Yes, buy me a red image so I can work with you. Because you can work with me. You're all connected with that, so I want to work with you too. And I was like, okay. And I bought the image. Now we have 3. We have a red, a black, and a green. All her requests, she's the one in charge, not me. I'm just a server. She's the one in charge, and she's the one that tells me, I want this, I want that, I want that. And as I was searching for more information, I found you.
Yeah. Okay. So that's how you received the call.
Yes.
Now, tell me about your Centro Espiritual. You have a page, right? It's
yes.
Called,
House of San Lázaro, Casa de San Lázaro.
Casa, you speak
Yes,
English?
I speak English, Portuguese, and Spanish.
Hablo
español bien. O más o menos.
Okay, there you go. Más o menos, así como dominicano, puertorriqueño,
sí, sí, sí.
So anyway, so now let's go back into you. Where people also say that you're evil because why? Because you work where in the cemetery?
Yes. That's one of the things that person told me too. You're a necromancer. A necromancer cannot practice sensei. You work with the devil.
Well, anybody who, what do you think about that? Anybody who works with the spirit basically is
a necromancer, right?
Anything who works with the spirit of death is considered to be a necromancer.
Yes. I think there's a lot of people have a lot of personal issues, and people have a lot of fears about that. They don't want to face their own destiny. So that's why everything that related with the graveyard is considered devilish, because they don't want to see their future. Okay, so people are afraid, are really afraid. And I agree that the graveyard is not a place to play, but in the graveyard, I have family. Not only my blood family, or not only my ancestors, but I have family. I have spirits that put themselves in front of me if anything happens. So they are my family. So this family cannot be from the devil. Yes.
Well, and in the cemetery, of course, you're gonna find every type of energy that you're looking for.
Yes.
Whether it be good energy, bad energy, dark energies, dark energies, whatever you
You will
feel like,
connect
you can find in the
with what
cemetery,
you
you
have in
find it.
your heart. If your heart is black, you will find black. If your heart is white, you will find white.
Okay. So now that you brought us into this little world to let us know what is it that you're going for, how do you feel like before you started those spiritual path that your life was? Where were you before, and now where are you now?
Well, it's like a car. A car has 4 wheels, and if one of the wheels gets damaged, you will be boom, 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 boom. You will not run properly. And I always felt that something was missing. Umbanda was always only the beginning. At a certain point, I've made a DNA test. So I understood that I had a lot of connections that were missing in my life. Sanse was one of them, and Ifa was one of them, because I have 15% of African blood in my veins. So that connection was missing. Everything that I do, it's like the wheels from the car. I feel that I was going very slow, and now I understand that I can go faster in my life because I'm connected to my own energies, to my own ancestors. You have to respect.
And it's funny how, it's funny that people try to keep you down, and you are Portuguese, but yet you're representing another country in your head.
I don't think
Because
Portuguese.
deep inside of you, probably once in another life, you were from that
island.
But yet you try to learn the culture so you can represent and you can share the knowledge with the people. Yet you were discriminated. But the world. It's funny how the ancestors work. Even though you were discriminated with one person, one of his own godchildren came and now is teaching you. So you still have that theology that you're learning. So the floor is yours, my friend. Take it. Now you tell us about everything you want to tell us. I mean, of your practice, what is it? Your thoughts and everything. You make great live videos.
Thank you.
Where you talk about equality.
Yes.
You talk about helping those that really need help without thinking about riches first.
Yes. I try to, in every video that I do, I try to teach something to the people. Not to me and to you, that we are already workers, but I try to teach something to the client that is in need of someone that help him. Because what people really need is to get specialized help, a real spiritual worker that doesn't work for money and that works for the spirits. Our main source, our main goal, everything that we are is a spirit. We are a spirit inside a body, and that's it. We are not a body to enjoy spiritual work when we have time. No, this is not a part-time job. This is something that we need to do every single day. And what people need to understand is that the stronger the connection that the spiritual worker has with his spirits, the stronger the work will be. If you do this on the weekends, it's one thing. If you do this daily, your relation with the spirits are completely different. Even last night, I was doing a video, and I was telling in that video, I was asking people, if you say to me that you're a son of Oshun, how many times do you go to the river every year? Because if you don't go home, how can you have a connection with your mother if you say Oshun is your mother? Right? You need to have that connection. You need to go home. You need to have time for your mother. You need to have a strong relation in order to be always aligned with her energy. Because if you're not aligned, she will not be able to talk to you. You will not be able to hear her. You need to have a very strong connection. And the same thing with the graveyard. I know that this is probably strange for a lot of people, but in Umbanda, we have a line that is called Linha das Almas, a line from the souls. That is a line that works strictly with souls. That is my job, because I'm son of Aloye. Okay, so I have.
Who's that in Ocha, let's say?
Yes, I didn't.
Is that Baba Luaye?
Baba Luaye, yes.
San
Lázaro,
okay.
yes, San Lázaro.
All right.
So everything that I do, there's something that I realized with all of this. I was born to die, and I accept that. I'm a dead man walking, you know, and that's how I feel. I deal with Baba Luaye, I deal with Barón del Cementerio, I deal with Santa Marta, and they are all my family, because I was born to die. It's, you know, that movie, The Gladiator. There's one part that they are on the arena, and they salute, and they say, "We who are about to die salute you." And that's how I feel every day. I salute life every day, because I am about to die at any moment, and I embrace that. I'm a dead man walking, so everything that is related with that, I'm not afraid. That's I'm sorry for the language, but that's my fucking job, you know, to deal with that. A lot of people come to me, and a month, 3 months later, someone from the family dies. A lot of times I walk on the street, and someone was dead yesterday, the week before. So that's my thing, you know. I'm like, I have a very strong connection with everything that is dead, with everything that is Iku, everything. So
so you visit the cemetery a lot, because that's basically, you consider that to be your house.
Yes, it's my second house. Or I don't know if people realize this, but when you're a medium and you mount the spirits, you're leaving your life behind. You're letting the spirit live. So
when you get possessed.
Yes. Okay. So this is a consciousness that I don't know if people have it, because we are born to die, and in my case, I live two lives. I live mine and the one that I give to the spirits. Every single second that I give, that I get mounted, I give it to the spirits. It's life that I would never bring back. Okay, so this is my job. I don't know if people understand it. I clearly understand that people get upset with it, because I have I stink with that, right? But it is a job, and someone has to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's common sense. Yes. You know, the day that you come out of your mother's womb and you take your first breath, it's a day you count to your death. And we are born to die. We are born to pass away from this thing. you know, from this realm, from this human body. It doesn't matter if it's today, the second, you know, as soon as we finish this video, but one day we're gonna die.
Yes.
What he's saying is we are born to do that. Doesn't mean that we're gonna die because we do this the spiritual things.
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you're Catholic. It doesn't matter if you're Christian, you're Pentecostal. It doesn't matter if you're Voodoo priest, you're Palero, you're Santero. You're gonna die at one moment.
And that's it.
So, and that's the energies that you work with too, though. That energy of death. So that's why you work with Baba Luwaye, S.Lázaro, Asojano, Cubayende, let's say, or yet you also work now with Santísima Muerte because it's the feminine energy of death.
And I don't know if people realize another thing. It's that if there's no one like me, one day your grave will be completely alone, because there's no muertero to go to your grave to give you a cup of water and a little candle. I work a lot with very old graves, because there's no family, there's nothing, and they are completely abandoned. And sometimes they are stuck in it. They have no one to talk to. If there's no one like me to go to the grave and to talk to them and to learn their stories and to give them some light, because I deal with a lot of graves from the 800s. Those people had no knowledge. Those people were not enlightened from their friends, from their community, that they are dead. Someone like me, like us, needs to go there and to talk to them and to explain them, I'm sorry, my brother, you are dead, but you can move on with your life because you're still alive. The thing that was dead is your old body, but you are still alive. So you need to go on, search for another way of coming to us, for us to be able to enjoy your company, not only in spirit. So a lot of these spirits, I'm telling you, they are like family to me, and sometimes even stronger than blood family, because I will do everything for them, and I know they will do anything for me. And someone needs to take care of all these spirits, and sometimes people don't want to take care of their spirit. People don't want to take care of that because they are afraid of their final, what they believe to be the final step, because it's not.
Very interesting. I mean, that's your thought. We all respect your opinions. You know, we're here. There's like videos. You know, I bring guests on, and just to hear everybody's opinion, personal practice. Now, do you do consultations? Do you do readings?
I do readings. I do.
Okay, what are some? I'm not telling you. Tell us what is it that you do exactly, but what are some of the tools that you do use for readings?
Well, I get mounted a lot, so we call it incorporation, when the spirit mounts you and tells you what needs to be told. So I mount a lot. I use tarot cards. I use oracles, and I do consultations in person and by distance. I have a lot of clients here, but I also have clients in the United States, Puerto Rico, whatever.
Yeah, I know you have a large following. You also just started your YouTube channel, right?
Yes.
What is the name of that YouTube channel?
It's Casa de San Lázaro, House of San Lázaro. Everything we have, it is a brand. We've turned it into a brand in Portugal. It is Casa de São Lázaro, House of San Lázaro.
So for all those Portuguese people, you know, that you speak Portuguese and you want to talk to him, you can, you know, but tell us a little bit more. I mean, we're just getting started here. So, so you used to practice Espiritismo, the Allen Kardec, right? What is the difference with that and the Spiritismo that you practice?
Well, You're gonna get me in trouble. Well,
No, I mean, I'm not. We're here to talk the truth.
yes. Well,
We're here to give people knowledge because a lot of people ask, should I do this? What is the difference between Espiritismo with Allan Kardec, right? Which is more of a European, although if you know the history of Allan Kardec, he didn't practice that himself. He just wrote
yes,
what the other people summon. They call upon the spirit. Even though a lot of people say in Allan Kardec, you're working with the devil, you're working with demons, you're a necromancer, you cannot do that. Well, who the hell do you think we were summoning? They were summoning when Allan Kardec was writing that.
exactly.
They were summoning the spirit of the dead. They were summoning dead spirits. They're necromancers. But
even Allan Kardec is not real. His name was Hippolyte Arrivé, something like that. He had a French name, and he started to look at some phenomenon like the dancing tables, and he was like, "Wow, this has something very strange here. I think that people are moving their hands to make the tables move," but it was not the case. So he decided to write an amount of questions and to give them to different people. Okay, and the spirits gave every single time the same answer. So he was like, "There's an intelligence behind this." Okay, but Kardec is very good in how can I say it, on a formal level and in a moral level. You learn a lot about how spirits work because he was very helped by the spirit and make a lot of good questions. Okay, but then you need to see Kardec for what it is. Allan Kardec was a name from one of his own incarnations that he used to write the books because he was not allowed to write books. He would be killed. If you write...
Yeah, at that time he will be gone, yeah.
So we need to see Kardec for what it is. He was a medical doctor. He was white. He was European, and he was very he had a stable life. So those points of view were put into Espiritismo from Kardec, because in Kardec you don't have blacks, you don't have Indians, you don't have nothing. You have only with very high level education, white, and everything that is besides that, it is wrong. It is very racist.
So you mean, wait. So you mean that over there, Allan Kardec, a black man or a Latino or an Indian with a dot, not a feather, or an Indian with a feather, not a dot, it wasn't allowed to practice that? You have to be white.
You had to be white, and still today, you can practice Espiritismo, but you cannot call on your own Indio. You cannot call on your own black man. You can only practice Spiritismo the way he practices, or he practiced it, you know? That is why we have Umbanda. Let me tell you a little bit, just a little bit about Umbanda. One day, there was this young man called Zélio that had a lot of spiritual issues. He was attacked by spirits, and no one could help him. Not the priests from the Catholic Church, nothing. So they bring them to the Federation of Allan Kardec Spiritismo in order to help him. And when he reached to the white table, he looked at the table. He saw a glass of water and a jar, and he told, "There's something missing in his table." And he went outside, picked up a flower, and put it in a jar and said, now it is a little better because we have nature represented. And they told him, I'm sorry, Mr. Zelio, I'm very sorry, but you cannot do this. You cannot leave the session and you cannot have this kind of elements in our session because that's low level. That is low level.
Low level vibration.
And he told, but why is nature low level? And they told me, you cannot bring those kind of energies into our session. He was mounted by a spirit from an Indian, and he told them, the Indian was called Indian from the Seven Crossroads. And he told all those people, if I am not allowed to work in here to help my fellow men, tomorrow I will create a new religion. Tomorrow I will call this religion Umbanda. It means one band, when every single spirit will be allowed to act and to work for the greater good for all humanity. And so he did. This is how Umbanda was born, out of the racism from Kardec, and allowing Indians, black men, Eshu, hookers that are called Pombagira, gypsies. Every single spirit is allowed to work in Umbanda because Umbanda is for everyone, for everyone. There's no discrimination in Umbanda.
That's a wonderful story.
It is real. You can look it up in Father Google.
Father Google. What is the most difficult part of this spiritual journey you in? What have you encountered that has made it difficult for you? Or a lot of times when we start this spiritual journey, most of the people that make it difficult for us is our own family.
Yes.
When they see that we don't agree with their religious practice, or we don't go to church like they do, we become the ugly duckling in the house. Have you experienced anything like that?
Yes. Well, let me tell you like this. I'm not Catholic, but I will use a little bit of Catholic history. When Jesus was on the cross, someone, I don't know the exact story, but someone bring them his mother, and he told the person who were with them, with his mother, woman, who's my mother, who's my father, who's my family? Something like this. And I ask you the same question. Besides spirits, who's my family, who's my father, who's my mother? Because without spirits, I have nothing. I can tell you, without spirits, I have nothing. And I don't know if a lot of spiritual workers work like this, but for me, it's like this. The most difficult part was not my blood family, because that was not the important thing. One of the most important things was that I'm a modern slave. You know, I was picked up in all my incarnations, and I was put on the country of the conquerors in order to prove my worth. In order, so I would prove to all the people that I was not a conqueror. I'm not a conqueror. I'm not Portuguese. I don't feel Portuguese. I have nothing to do with this culture. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So every time I hear an African music, I cry. Every time I I hear something from Puerto Rico, I cry. And you don't know the victory that it was, a single bottle of alcoholado. Because that's
Wow.
the most difficult thing to have in Portugal. There's no one, there's nothing, there's not a single botanica that sells alcoholado in Portugal. There's nothing, you know. There's no coquito, there's no sofrito, there's no pernil, no hay nada. There's nothing. So to maintain that culture alive and to have to have a single can of gandules is a victory in Portugal. So I don't know if every single person understands this, because I think that sometimes, and I mean no disrespect to anyone, but let me tell you that sometimes people take things for granted. They have the botanica next door. They don't practice because they don't want to, because they would leave it to tomorrow. Here in Portugal, I cannot leave it to tomorrow, because I need to honor my spirits, because that's all I have, you know. So
Yeah.
it's very hard. That's the most hard thing. Not family, not haters, not people that don't like me. No, a single can of gandules is the most difficult thing, but it is a victory at the same time, because I can get it. I work very hard, but I can get it. This hat from Puerto Rico, this took me almost 2 months to get here. A single hat. That is why I'm wearing it right now, because I'm proud. I'm proud because I didn't conquer Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico conquered me. You know, so I represent Puerto Rico in this single hat. Huepa,
Wow.
para todo mi hermano de Puerto Rico.
Wow. So deep inside of you, it's like you have this feeling that you are Boricua,
Yeah.
that you are Puerto Rican. I'm not. I'm Hispanic, you know, but you know, I love my country too. But it's amazing how, I don't know. It's just the words you say and everything. Like you say, you know, no, I did not conquer Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico conquered
Yes.
me. Yet you're being discriminated, and you want to learn this beautiful culture, you know. But hopefully, after this video, you're gonna have a lot of Puerto Rican people, you know, teaching you their culture. You know, one, just because somebody who calls himself a spiritual teacher, just because that person wrote a book, just because that person thinks he knows everything about, you know, Tainos and caciques, which in reality the word cacique is not Puerto Rican, you know, but or they know things about centinelas. They're not the only one who knows about sensei. There are
Thank God.
a lot more people that know about sensei, and hopefully there will be one that will say, listen, Luis, I am willing to teach you. Because you talk about gandules, I mean, you're Portuguese, but you don't act like it.
No.
You know, it's like you said it. Maybe what you reincarnated, it could be two things. It could have been that at one time you were one of those slavers, the people that conquered, but now you are living, you're living, you're
I'm trying to
reincarnated, and now
redeem
you're
myself.
paying a karmatic due.
Yeah.
A karmatic, right? It's karma. Because of what you did in your past life, now that you enslaved and stuff, you become that slave, the one you enslaved,
Yeah.
right? Now you yourself become enslaved. It could be that. I'm not saying it is, but it also could be that Luis was born in Portugal, but the soul is Boricua.
Yes. I think
The soul is Puerto
I think
Rican.
I've been in a lot of places. There's a lot of places that make my heart goes faster. Brazil, Puerto Rico, Angola, Nigeria. I think that I was put here to in order to remind all of that and to not take it for granted. because I think
So you
a
just
lot of times people take things for granted.
mm. Not only are you a soul probably of a Taino, you're a soul of a Congo, you're a soul of that Nigerian and stuff, all in one. Maybe you have practiced so many of this. Once you practice that, you know, and you just miss it. Well, hey, you know, you know, save up, move to Puerto Rico, brother, or New York. If you go to New York, you're in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
You know, you're in New York, you're Puerto Rican, you know, already. You have everything. Hey, even here in Houston, we have a little community of Puerto Ricans, you know. Hawaii, you know, pack up,
Yes.
go, man.
I was there's another thing, because I've been put in Portugal to resolve one thing. Let me tell you real quick what it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm good? Okay. This house that you are seeing, it's a very old house. A very old house. You can see the bricks right there. Because this house was, how can you call it? Where you put the animal food, storage, something like this.
Oh, barn.
A barn.
Yeah.
This house was kind of a barn, but this house was from the fathers, my grandfather, my grandfather, the father from my mother. They went to Brazil. They never went back. And one day I had a dream. My grandfather was there in 2000, and in 2011 he came to me in a dream, telling me to rescue this house, because all my uncles wanted to sell it, and he didn't want this house sold because it was his root. No, I'm in this house 7 years now, trying to rebuild it. So right now I cannot leave because I'm not done with this job. But as soon as I have this job done, I can assure you that one of the first things that I'm going to do is to go to Spain, because it's the nearest thing that I have, in the closest thing that I have to Puerto Rico, where I can hear Spanish, where I can feel a little bit of the culture, because they have little things like Puerto Rico does. And believe me, that as soon as I can, I will be in Puerto Rico, because I don't want to die without going to Puerto Rico, without drinking a coquito, without eating a pernil, little things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a lot of, you know, that guy that you meant. Well, we didn't mention his name, but that guy that you went for help is not the only
Thank the God.
person out there with
Thank
the
the
knowledge.
Lord.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have another great Puerto Rican that has a lot of knowledge. He's also a great Tata. You got Eric Colon. You have another one that is very, very knowledgeable too, and that's Efrain Medina, Tata Butaco. They speak English very well. They could give you a little bit of information as a Puerto Rican practice. But we were talking about the difference. So we were talking about, you know, Ellen Kardec, but we didn't even mention now there's no practice of the new Espiritismo that you're doing. When you bring the 21 divisiones, 21 divisions in there, where you bring the loas stuff, now that you practice this, how, you feel that you became more spiritual than when you were just doing Allen Kardec?
I become more complete, because Allan Kardec only teaches you in your mind, and that's a very good thing. You need to have your mind clear, but after you have your mind clear, you need to have your heart in your place, because without heart you don't live. So when an Indian comes, when an African comes, when a child comes, you feel their heart, you feel their energy, and you feel human, you know, not only in your mind, You don't feel more elevated because you have a mind. No, you feel more elevated and more human because all those spirits will bring you something to you. Uh, Believe me, my life was never the same after I had even made here, because I don't know if it is made right, but my life was never the same after I tasted coquito. Every single Christmas now, believe me, it is a stupid thing and a everyday thing. A lot of people take it for granted, but all my Christmas now are completely different because I have adobo, because I have coquito. And when I drink it and when I eat it, and when I have all these things, I'm honoring all those spirits because they understand it. It's their culture, and I'm blessed because I have them in my life, because these spirits completed my life. Believe me, they all completed my life, because you're not complete without your root.
Mm. Very interesting. Very interesting. Um, is there something else you like to share with us?
Well,
Any recommendation for those who are just starting their
yes,
spiritual path,
yes.
who are just thinking of joining a tradition? You know.
I would advise every single people, on the first place, to do a DNA test. Because let me show you. This is a stupid example, but I think you will understand it. You see this little piece here? You can connect it
Hmm.
in here, and you can connect it in here. When you do a DNA test, you will find out what kind of connections you have. And when you do a DNA test, you will find the missing pieces that you have in your life. So after you discover this is your map for your life. The map for where you came
Hmm.
from and where you can be. After you do a DNA test, you have to be very careful and find out real people from those cultures to teach you. Because believe me, it's like Jesus. There's a before Jesus and an after Jesus. And when you find out your connections and your roots, it will be an before and an after, because you will be complete. When you find out your roots, you can pass through a lot of storms in your life, but you will always be rooted. You will always have your coquito para te dar alegría, and you always have those spirits to help you and to guide you. So, but before you can find the spirits, you need to find always someone that can give you a little light, not to be the boss of you, but to give you a little light, a little knowledge. Because if you don't know what coquito is, probably your spirits will not understand you so good, because it is their culture. You need to understand the culture in order to respect it, and in order to talk the same language that the spirits will understand. It's like Nigeria. I'm in Portugal, but I need to understand how Nigerians think also, in order to practice a good Ifa and a good Sanse and a good Umbanda, and everything needs to fit in. You need to study a lot. If you are thinking that spirituality is easy money, you are so wrong, motherfucker. So wrong. Yeah, believe me, because every time you attend a client, you do not attend the client. You attend the client, the history from the client, his devils and his angels. His angels are very easy to deal with, but the devils, you better run, motherfucker. Sometimes you better run, because if they are with your client, they probably will love you too. and will eat you for breakfast. No, so people that do spiritual work need to understand this. When you do spiritual work, you are here to serve. You are looking at this image, all those statues, and all this ugly motherfucker. Don't care about the ugly motherfucker. Care about the statues. They will teach you. I probably will be just a little stepstone on your path, but I'm not the important thing. These are, okay? Your culture, your spirits. So work with them, not with me.
Okay. So once again, give us your information if people want to look you up, to talk to you, especially Portuguese.
Yes, if people want to.
But you do speak Spanish too?
I speak Spanish and English.
You know, people want to, yeah.
Well, you can.
If people want to send you a message or anything, give us your
yes.
Facebook.
You can look me up. I only have 2 social medias because I don't have time to be on everything. I don't have time because if you do spiritual work, you cannot do anything else because people will look for you. That's something lies too. For example, I don't go to the store to buy bread, for example. You know why? Because I have clients that bring the bread to me. Why? Are they my slaves? No. But my time is more important to them giving consultation than waste time going to buy bread. So bring the bread to me. Okay? So, in Portuguese, Casa de S.Lázaro. Casa de S.Lázaro. Always the same thing. Casa de punto, and you can